probably the main reason that I wanted to study. The other things I wanted to, and I wanted the discussion because that'll make it all the better for me. But even if none of you were doing this, I would be doing this by myself because I want to understand better what I can do to be an influence for liberty. Because I hear a lot, I'm not sure about a lot of what they say in the news and in politics and whatever, but I know liberty is right. That's what I know. And so I want to figure it out, understand liberty better, figure out how to apply it, and so that's what I can stand for and be a part of.
Well, this was a great start. This first lecture was a great start.
Yeah, yeah. So I wanted to ask if anyone else has any goals personally that you would like to share. You don't have to share. Any goals or just hopes for what you want to get out of it, just since this is our first real discussion. And I think Mike already really went over that for himself. I think we all touched on it a bit of what we hope. Does anyone else have any goals, any specific things that you're wanting to do, or ways you're wanting to take these principles and then go with them?
I want my children to understand the principles of liberty, and I think that, I mean, really with all of my study, just by studying and getting excited about something, we tend to share. And that influence for good of liberty starts with our families, and so that's a main goal for me.
Yeah, me too. Karen and I have that homeschooling gene in common. We're thinking like moms who are going to teach their children a lot of what they're going to learn.
Hope.
Yep.
Hope. Yep.
Any others?
I have one.
Yeah.
As I said before, I said I want to know what works in society and what truly brings peace and lasting happiness. And for myself, I want to know what personal contributions I can make to that society, specifically as a woman and a mother. I don't know if you can.
Well put.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, that was very good.
That
Okay.
was well put. Yes.
Okay, let's switch gears a little bit, talk about the other article, Getting the Book Through You. I don't think we'll need to spend long on that. But they talked about study skills. This article is great. I shared last time, I think I shared with most of you, Landon, I probably haven't told you, but that my connection with the Tenboom Institute, which is the group that provides the materials, it's her venue of teaching and sharing the materials. So it's her thing. And she does things online and via conference call. So my connection with them is that last spring and fall, I took a 2-part course from Audrey from the Tenboom Institute. And it was called Lifelong Learning. So I took parts 1 and part 2, and it was awesome. And that's how I knew that this is what I wanted to do. I heard that she had Principles of Liberty, and I said, that's next. I'm doing this one now, and that's next on my list for me. And then she decided instead of teaching courses this year, she was switching and facilitating these kinds of book groups. So she's helping we're not the only book group that's using her materials and doing things kind of her way. That's one of her missions right now, is to make these happen. Anyway, my point in bringing that up is we read all these same articles that we're reading in this course that are just her articles that she wrote in the Lifelong Learning course as well. And so this one, Getting the Book Through You, is about study skills. And it made a profound difference in the Lifelong Learning course to know how to do these skills. And they're things that are, a lot of us probably know to look for them, but to really dig into a book. And she calls it Getting the Book Through You because she talks about the mindset in a lot of public school system is to get through the book.
Yeah.
And now we're trying to switch that mindset to getting the book through us. That the point is not finish, the point is to learn and get out of it what you can get out of it. And these study skills, she talks about marking right in your book as much as you possibly can, so your book is its own report. It's something that you can go back to. And she talks about that in her article. And she's going to divide it up, I think, from looking over the study guide, divide up that article and have us just read sections of it so that we're focusing on a few of the study skills at a time. So we'll learn about them and then we'll apply them in the next assignment, I think is how it works.
Okay.
So
I just noticed on the assignment that it said pages 3 through 7, but 7 didn't have an end of a section. I wasn't sure exactly what she was having us do. So and that's why, because she's just taking parts.
Yeah,
Okay, that makes sense.
That's why. So the 4 that she talked about in those pages 3 through 7, we'll just talk about right now just to give you an overview, and because these will be on our next assignment. So she talks about using commonplace books, and she explains what those are. Basically have a place for your own thoughts. But she says don't just write how you've always written. You want to use that to learn how to be more clear, more concise, become a better writer. But at the same time, there aren't a lot of other rules. The commonplace book is yours to just write as you want, to take notes as you want. She says that said, you want to do as much of the marking right in the book as you can. You're not going to fit it all in the book, so you have another place to take notes, to expand a little longer, whatever, but you want to do most of it in the book. And then, so the other 3 are more in the book. She talks about researching the author beforehand, and she taught us to just write, and you know, the front few pages, there's usually some blank spot in a book. They have just one random blank paper before they even get started, or whatever. So to use a blank spot towards the beginning to write down notes about the author. And she says don't take a lot of time on it. We just would do half an hour to an hour, Wikipedia, the website that the author has, you know, whatever it is, just to get a feel for who they are, what their worldview is, what their values are. So we're going to do that in this class. We don't have a lot of authors. We only have 2 texts, unless you do the go deeper reading assignments. And so, but that's one of the ones. And since we're starting 5,000 Year Leap for next time, that's one she'll want us to look into Cleon Scouts. And
That could take a long time.
yeah, it could. I must say I got carried away doing that.
I go on tangents when I have assignments that are tangents.
So whatever that means for you, researching the author. Another is looking up words, and she recommends the 1828 Noah Webster Dictionary, especially for works that are older, because the meanings of words change, and we're going to talk about that. She talked about it a little bit in her lecture, and you can just find that online. So
question.
Yeah.
You can find the 1828 dictionary online.
Yeah.